Hello, everyone. Hope you're having a great day. It is Tracy coming to you live from New Hampshire Writers Project headquarters, and I am here today with Rick Davidson and Bill Thompson. How are you both?
Very good. Thank you.
Wonderful.
Good. I'm glad you could join me here today for another member feature for our holiday showcase. And if that's not something you're familiar with, you can head on over to our website at nhwritersproject.org and you can learn about all of the wonderful members we are highlighting on our website. There are over 55 books featured. From fiction, nonfiction, youth to poetry. And we have been broadcasting this month to give you some insight into all of these amazing members and their books. And so today is a feature here with Rick and Bill, and they have written a wonderful book that I can't wait to tell you about, especially if you are a history buff. So buckle in, because you are going to hear some great stories, and I know we're going to do some sharing. I was telling Bill and Rick here before we went live that my husband's a land surveyor, and I told him he needed to be watching today because he loves this kind of stuff. So I'm really interested to learn more about it. So I think if you guys want to start out, can you tell us a little bit about your career as both writers and photographers?
Go ahead.
Well, all right. I've written 3 novels, which are out there. We really are not talking about those today, but they're about, they started out as a mountain lion that runs amok in the North Country of New Hampshire. It had one critic called it Jaws in the Woods. So those are out there, but today we're here to talk about Buried New Hampshire, which is 2 books, by the way, Volume 1 and Volume 2. We actually hit 116 different grave sites and tell the story about the person buried there or the people buried there. And when we submitted this to the publisher, his first reaction was, "We can't do this much." And then a few minutes later, I get an email saying, "Okay, you caught me on a good day. We'll do 2 books."
That's excellent.
Your memory is
I think
Bill.
that's true.
Well, Bill, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Oh, I'm a longtime photographer. Started off probably when I was about 10 years old. When we were living in Germany, I'm an Army brat, very proud of that. Avid fly fisherman. I owned a fly fishing store in North Conway, the old North Country Angler, still in business today. And I guess my writing experience, well, I wrote a column for about 19 years for our local newspaper, the Conway Daily Sun, about fly fishing, obviously.
Nice. And so you're both photographers and you're both contributors to this book, is what it sounds like.
Absolutely.
Equal 50-50.
Yep.
Okay. And you traveled together throughout New Hampshire to find all these amazing places. How long did it take you to put this collection together?
I would say it took us a little over a year.
Yes.
Oh, wow. That's a lot quicker than I would have thought.
It may have been even a little longer, but we did it regularly.
I don't think they're counting editing afterwards.
Oh, no, we're not talking about the editing.
Just collecting. Okay, just collecting the information.
The photography, you're absolutely right. Yeah, no, it took another 6 months to do the editing, I would guess. That was also quite a process, as any writer would be able to tell you.
Well, how did you decide what graveyard sites to visit and feature in this book?
Well, a lot of it is legend. I mean, we were at a thing last night. Mention a legend to us, we're going to go look at it. So some of them are legends. A lot of them are facts. Some of them are definitely historical. The signers of the Declaration, of which there are 3, and in New Hampshire is one example of the histories that we pursued. Would you like to take it from there?
Well, yes. I part of our inspiration, we're both big fans of Fritz Weatherby from the Chronicle, and he gave us some inspiration and some ideas. Of course, the internet has lists and lists of various cemeteries and historical people. And then we got a lot of tips. One of the best ones came from a forester in Freedom that led us to a Crow Indian buried in the town of Milton, New Hampshire. So there were a lot of tips like that from friends and neighbors. And the more you talked about it, the more tips you got.
Now,
And-
did anybody ever join you on these expeditions to find these places, or was it just the two of you?
Just the two of us.
Yeah, except for my grandson once.
Yes, yes.
Okay. I was going to say, I figured there'd be some
We were
other
doing
people
their
who might be interested in the journey, the adventures here that you were going on.
Well, we did have a friend once that scouted out the glowing stone in South
That's
Cemetery
right.
for us. She actually made a nighttime visit to see if they really did glow. They didn't.
Interesting. Well, actually, that brings up another question, though. Did you visit most of these during the day, or did you visit any at night?
Yeah, day.
Most of them were during the day. Yeah.
Okay.
A lot of graveyards actually they actually close in the evening.
Yes.
Okay.
No, but
Yeah.
no, we were for the most part there during the day.
Yep.
It was
Well,
like a fishing trip.
I had read something on your website which prompted that question that said, don't start reading one of Rick Davidson's books late in the day or you will be up all night. So I didn't know if maybe there were some spooky elements in there that we just didn't realize.
And we did cover several. You have to. We didn't set out to write a ghost story or paranormal book. This we did visit because you would have to. There are several cemeteries within the state that are reputed to be haunted, and we did cover, I think, 6 different. And when we reference some others that are also supposed to be haunted as well, but we never had any experience at all.
No,
Okay.
and that wasn't the crux of the book.
Yeah.
There are a lot of good books out there that really do, are about ghost stories. But we felt to do a graveyard book or a cemetery book and not mention at least a couple of them wouldn't be right. But
That makes sense. Yeah. So really, this is focused on history and just researching all these interesting stories from people from the past is what I'm gathering.
exactly.
Yes, interesting people, whether they're historical figures or just an ordinary guy that happened to be buried out in the middle of the woods someplace.
Yeah.
And
we
were
did-
you able to easily track down the stories and the histories of these people?
I don't know if easily is the right word.
Yeah.
In some cases, we had to do quite a bit of research.
Okay.
In other cases, the stories are out there, and some of them are fairly probably known to people who would pick up the books, and it's our take on them.
Yep.
And the way I've looked at it too is the old idea of the rest of the story. I mean, in some cases, the story is out there, but we worked at finding the rest of the story.
Okay. I like how you did that little play on words there from Fritz.
Yes.
Nice.
A lot
Well,
of
you
times,
must have each had your own favorite story.
Yeah.
I would love to hear what your favorite story or the favorite person that you came across that you researched.
Well, we spoke about this earlier,
yeah,
and I think the one that really grabbed me right from the get-go, it was one of our first, was a woman named Hadley Richardson. And for those who don't know, she was Ernest Hemingway's Paris wife, the first wife. The Movable Feast is written about her and him at that time in Paris when he was working on his first book and some of his short stories. The Sun Also Rises. This is a quote from him.
Okay.
The moment she entered the room, an intense feeling came over me. I knew she was the girl I was going to marry. Now, when you research Hadley, you really begin to realize why he said that. It's also Hadley is the one who he later said, one I never should have given up. And she just comes across as really an incredible lady. And she did end up marrying again, only once, unlike Hemingway. And they moved to Chicago, New Hampshire. And she's buried in the Chicago, New Hampshire cemetery. And let me just read. She married a guy named, what is his name? Oh, terrible.
Mr. Maurer.
Yeah, Mr. Moria. Paul Scott Moria. I'm sorry. I am getting older. But this is a little poem he wrote from a book he called On Going to New Hampshire. And by the way, he was the first poet laureate of New Hampshire.
Okay.
Homesick with years, I crave to live again. Homesick with years, I crave to live again. With rough grouse drum chickadees feed by. With men who talk my talk and look my look. New Hampshire hills, the fir-spired lakes of Maine. Henceforth, our world enough. There's time to try each game trail now and every trout brook. And that's the man she ended up marrying and apparently being very happy with for many years. But it's one of those things where I went, seriously, she's 10 minutes away.
Yeah.
And as I said before, when we were talking, she lived until 1979, and there are some tapes that were available to listen to an interview with her. And she came across as quite a lady.
So fascinating. I mean, the rabbit holes you must have gone down, you know, as you're exploring and doing these adventures just to find all this wonderful information.
Yes, absolutely. What would be yours?
Oh, my favorite. You know, I really can't say. I anticipated this question, and I couldn't come up with one. You know, there were several. I mean, when we do our little talks at libraries and things, we do the story of Nancy, who died in a storm chasing her faithless lover. That's a story that resonates with me. Last night we did the story of Josie Langmaid, who was murdered in the town of Pembroke, buried in Suncook. Those stories kind of touch you and they get you. And even though they happened, well over 100 years ago, it still resonate today as important parts of our history.
Agreed.
And the same things happen today. So nothing changed.
Wow. Well, if you are just joining us, we are talking with Rick Davidson and Bill Thompson today, authors of Buried New Hampshire, Graveyards Have Stories to Tell. And they are one of over 55 authors who are featured on our showcase, our holiday showcase at nhwritersproject.org. You can see the address there on the ticker at the bottom of your screen. And what we're encouraging you to do is visit this page of wonderful authors and their books and support the literary community this season, especially if you're looking for that interesting gift or that hard to find gift for the book lover on your list. We've got some great options here. And if you are trying to buy for a research or a history buff, this is a perfect book. New Hampshire history, wonderful photographs with it as well, and a lot of lore and just really interesting stories about things that have happened in New Hampshire that you are probably not aware of. So that's what we are talking with Rick and Bill about today. So I'm curious, what is coming next for you? I mean, you've done New Hampshire's graveyards, 116 of you mentioned. Are there more that you'll explore in New Hampshire, or will you continue this journey to other parts of New England?
The answer to that is yes.
Okay.
And this, by the way, is a part of a series. It's a British publisher, but it's America Through the Ages. And there is a Buried Maine, for example. There's someone that has written what we see Buried Long Island.
Yeah, Buried Boston.
Buried Boston.
Okay.
So we've decided to kind of go beyond maybe the limits of Maine or of New Hampshire, excuse me, and go to some other places. I mean, to give you an example, if we wanted to do Robert Frost, he's buried in Vermont. That we would go, okay, we're going to go there, and still do the story because he's New Hampshire oriented. But I don't know, we're thinking maybe if we can convince the publisher, we could call it, Buried Anywhere.
The Return of Buried New Hampshire.
I don't know. But we're having so much fun doing it that we can't stop.
I'm glad to hear that the journey is not ending, because I think you're going to have people here with bated breath waiting for what's next. This is just fascinating. And I've loved talking with you guys today. This is just really interesting information. And I want to let people know, if they would like to know more about the book and about the authors, you want to go to rick-davidson.com for more information. You can also find the places to purchase from their website as well as ours at nhwritersproject.org. Would make a fantastic gift for that history buff on your list. So thank you everyone for listening. Thank you to both of you for joining me today. And before we part ways, is there anything else you want to tell our audience?
Well, thank you for having us. We
Yeah,
really
thank you.
appreciate the
Yes,
opportunity to share our story.
Yes.
Well, one thing I wanted to mention to you guys, in case you haven't thought of it, but when Fritz Weatherby retires, I don't think he's retired yet. I'm thinking you guys would be perfect for that segment on Chronicle there. You guys have a wealth of knowledge. And I've got to imagine that if people want some really great stories about New Hampshire, you are both the people, the ones to call. So thank you for sharing all this with us today. I really appreciate it.
We'll see what WMUR says.
Well, you've got my vote. I'll reach out and give you a good word too if I need to. So thanks again, everyone, for joining us. I really appreciate it. Enjoy your holidays. And remember to visit the holiday showcase at nhwritersproject.org. Have a great day.